Hello everyone. In this particular video, we are going to talk about the Ansible. Okay, so what is Ansible, why it is used, how it is used. Okay, so let's start. So basically, what is the agenda behind this particular training is first we will going to learn all the fundamental concepts, then the key components of the Ansible, then what all the best practices that we should follow while doing playing with Ansible, then continuous integration with Ansible, how we can use the Ansible with AWS, provisioning a Docker host with the help of Ansible and all. Okay, so let's start. So let's start with the fundamentals. So what we are going to learn here is what is Ansible. Okay, then why should we use Ansible? Then we know that for every technology or every tool or whatever it is, if you want to learn, we need to understand first all the terminologies that are used inside that particular tool. Okay, so in the case of Ansible, we mostly use below terms. Okay, it's like what is inventory, what is host, what is group, what is playbook, what is play, task, modules, and libraries. Okay, so all these terminologies we are going to see one by one. Okay, so let's first start with what is Ansible. So what is Ansible? So if you see, it's a simple automation tool or engine, okay, that automates. So this Ansible will help us to automate a lot of things. Okay, so to name a few, the first thing that we use, okay, for the first thing where we use the Ansible is the cloud provisioning. Okay, so that means when you are going to create any cloud, okay, whether it's a private, public, or a hybrid cloud, so if you want to create that cloud, in that case we can use the Ansible to set up that cluster. Okay, now the next thing that we need to understand is for every cluster we need some configurations. Okay, now for those configurations this Ansible will help us to set up that configuration. Okay, so how it helps we are going to see. Then again, if you want to manage your life cycle of your application, in that case as well, Ansible will help us to do that. Sorry. Now if we have a couple of service or more than two service or whatever the number, if you want to orchestrate the communication between these two services, in that case as well we can use the Ansible. But before that, wherever you want to use it, first we need to understand why we should use it. Okay, because there could be other tools which are also doing something like Ansible. Then what is the advantage that we get with the Ansible over other technology? Okay, so the first and foremost advantage that we get with the Ansible, it's a very simple. Okay, it's very easy to read the code of Ansible, or if you want to maintain that without writing scripts or custom code. So it's very simple and it's very easy to learn. Okay, now the next feature that we have is it's fast to learn and set up. Okay, so what does that mean? If you want to learn Ansible, okay, it's a very simple language. Okay, it uses a very simple language, that is YAML. So what is the long form of YAML? It's yet another markup language. Okay, so to write the Ansible playbooks, we need YAML files that allow you to describe your simple automation jobs in a way that approaches plain English. Okay, so what they're trying to say is the way we write the English. Okay, so this writing YAML file is something like that. Okay, so that is the reason it's very easy to learn and set up. Now what next it is saying is efficient. Okay, so why efficient? Because for Ansible we don't need to have something like a server client setup. Okay, so we only need one client, or we can have only one agent, and then that agent don't need to have the uh, client to access it. Okay, through simple SSH as well we can work on this. Okay, Ansible works by connecting to your nodes and pushing out small programs called Ansible modules. So how this Ansible works is through SSH. Through SSH it will log in into that host and it will push the module. Ansible modules we call it is. Okay, the next feature that we get from the Ansible is it's very secure. Okay, so why it is secure? Because we are not using any agent to install on the node. Okay, the only thing that we need is a SSH connection. Okay, but again in that SSH as well we are using OpenSSH, where we can encrypt the communication that is happening from the client and the node. Okay, so now the first thing we need to understand here is the fundamental terminologies that we use in the Ansible. Okay, so the first terminology that we use very frequently is inventory. Okay, so what is inventory? Okay, this Ansible will work on this all this inventory items. So what does mean by inventory? Ansible works against multiple system, right? Because it is helping us in a setup, configuration and all. Okay, so it is helping us to set up something and also configure something. Okay, so those are nothing but a multiple system in your infrastructure, and we want to work with all of them in the same time. Okay, it does this by selecting portion of the system listed in Ansible's inventory file, which defaults to being saved in the etc Ansible host. Okay, so what does that mean? This inventory is nothing but what all the nodes or what all the machines that we are going to use for setup or for configuration. Okay, so all these machine details we can store inside the configuration file called etc Ansible host. Okay, and all this configuration we call it as a inventory. Okay, so now if you see the example, let's say you want to configure multiple web servers. Okay, so we can provide the all those node details where web server is installed. Okay, or if you want to install it, all this information we have given something like .140 141 142 and 143. Okay, or if you want to set up app servers again we can just do the grouping of all these similar workaholic servers, and then we can put it inside a single group. Okay, so all this is called inventory. So inside inventory we need to put all the nodes or all the machines which are coming inside this particular group, or the we need to set up or we need to configure. Okay, and also we can do the grouping as well according to their functionality. Okay, now what is host here? Okay, so host is simply a remote machine that Ansible manages. Okay, they can have individual variables assigned to them and can also be organized in a group. Okay, so what we are trying to say here is what is host in this particular Ansible setup. Okay, so the host is the machine. Okay, host is the machine managed by your Ansible manager. Okay, so Ansible will manage that host. Okay, so that host can be organized in a group, or we can have that individual host as well. Okay, so here if you see all these web servers are a collection of web servers. So the web server is the group name, and all the remote machines which are coming under web server group are inside given here. Okay, if we have a group of app servers, that we can put inside one single group, and for DB server again there is a one more group. Okay, now so we already talked about group, but let's see the definition. A group consists of several hosts assigned to a pool that can be conveniently targeted together and also given a variable that they share in common. So what does that mean? What all machines you can put inside a single group is that we want to configure all those machines in a same way. Okay, so in that case we can put all those systems in a single group, so that at the same time all the machines will be configured properly. Okay, Now again here in case of this example, all the web servers which are working are anyway going to work same. Okay, so that is the reason we can put all the servers inside one file, or sorry, one group, so that configuring those group elements is going to be easy. Okay, so that is what we are doing here. For web server setup, we are putting all the systems which are part of web server, and then for app server we are again putting all the interrelated machines. Okay, now the next thing, okay, the next thing or the next terminology that we need to understand is playbooks. Okay, so what is playbooks in Ansible? Okay, playbooks are the language by which Ansible orchestrates, configures, administers, or deploys systems. So playbooks contain plays. Okay, so what is mean by playbook? Playbook is something like a configuration file, we can say, where we put all the instruction step by step, so that this Ansible manager will understand those requests, and with the help of SSH it will try to configure all the groups or all the inventory items available inside etc Ansible inventory. Okay, now the action or the command which we write inside Ansible playbooks, we call it as a play. Okay, so just this Ansible will read out playbook. Okay, it will understand how this works. We need to write those Ansible playbooks, and the action, the individual action or steps that we write inside this, we call it as a plays. Okay, so now if you want to see the example, what we are trying to do is install application server and database server. So on the one host, okay, I want to install and start Apache Tomcat, and then we need to install Java, install Tomcat. Again, if you see in the second block, install and start MySQL and import data, install MySQL, import data. Okay, so these are some tasks that we need to perform. Okay, so all these tasks we can put inside one single playbook. Okay, where the command, the plays will be install Apache Tomcat, install Java, install Tomcat, install MySQL, import data. So, okay, so these are some actions that we want to perform, so we can put those actions inside a plays. Okay, and all plays we can put inside the single playbook. Okay, so that playbook will be executed one by one. Now, as discussed, what is play? Play is mapping between a set of hosts selected by a host specifier and the task which run on those hosts to define the role that those system will perform. Okay, so now here what is meant by play is nothing but a task, okay, which run on those hosts to identify a role that system will perform. Okay, now what is task? Okay, task combine an action with a name and optionally some other keywords like looping directive. Task call modules. Okay, so task means something like a module. So what is module that we have discussed is, module is nothing but the actions that we want to perform on the Ansible nodes. Okay, so we call it as a modules. Okay, so this task is something like a actions, and then actions are the task, we call it as a module. Okay, now what is module? Modules are the units of work that Ansible ships out to remote machine. Ansible refers to the collection of available modules as a library. Okay, so all the collection of modules we call it as a library. So this module is nothing but a unit of work, so that is sent by the Ansible to remote machine via SSH. Okay, now if you see, if I want to download the JDK, so if you want to download, then we need to provide this URL. Okay, so that Ansible can easily download the required JDK from the software repository. Okay, now we already discussed about library. Library is a collection of modules made available to the user bin Ansible or an Ansible playbook. Okay, so the whatever the modules or the collection of module, we call it as a library, which are available, those will be will make be available to user bin Ansible agent, okay, or a Ansible playbook. Okay, so Ansible playbook can also use this particular library. Okay, now first let's talk about how we can install it. Okay, because in this particular video we are mostly going to talk about all the things or all the tasks that we need to perform. Okay, so now let's take one example simply where I want to set up this Ansible cluster or Ansible machine. So in that case, what I can do is, the first thing that I need to do is install Ansible. Okay, so it's a depend on what system you are going to use for this setup, but here I am giving the instruction of Ubuntu, but we can easily will get the instruction to set up this Ansible on the Ubuntu as well. Okay, so what we are doing is install the EPL release RPM if needed on CentOS Scientific Linux. Okay, so in our case, or the in CentOS case, we can directly simply install Ansible. We can do, if you want to get the latest updates for the properties or the Ansible repository, we can simply do apt get install software properties common or apt add repository ppv Ansible. You can then update, and then after that you can install it. Okay, so the first block that you see is it's for CentOS or the Red Hat systems, right? And the second block that you see is for the Ubuntu distributions. Okay, so in the second block you can see that how we can set up it. Okay, we are going to see in the next video, we are going to talk about how we can set up the Ansible and all. Okay, so for this video we'll just talk about how we can do that. Okay, without practically, we'll just talk about it. Okay, now you can also install Ansible using pip. Okay, pip is the package manager for Python. Okay, if you want to directly install it, then also it is possible. You can simply do pip install Ansible, because this Ansible is nothing but something like a list and dictionary reader. Okay, so we know that if you take the example of YAML file is nothing but simply a combination of a list and dictionary. Okay, so that is the reason this Ansible is nothing but a version of Python. That's the reason it is able to understand all the JSON files, or even if you just simply pass the dictionary. Okay, now currently Ansible can be run from any machine with Python 2.6 or 2.7 installed. Okay, so what this statement is saying, that even though right now we are not doing anything, but if you want to use it, in that case, on that machine, if you want to install Ansible, in that case they should have at least a Python 2.6 version or more than that. Okay, now Windows is not supported for the control machine. That means the machine which we using to access this system requirements, or the creating all the host and all, but we need to have at least Python 2.6 or more than that version of 2.x. Okay, now we have, if you see closely, we have two machine requirements. So one is a control machine requirement, another is a node machine required. So control machine means nothing but from where we are running the Ansible. Okay, so what it is saying, currently Ansible can be run from any machine with Python 2.x or 2.3 or 2.6 or 2.7 installed. Okay, so there is no any specific requirement for the control machine. The only thing that we need is we need to have a Python version greater than 2.7. Okay, and this Ansible is not supported on the control machine. We can control the configuration or setup of the other machines, but this Ansible is only supported for Windows. Okay,
Now let's talk about the node machine system requirements. We know that Ansible can have a multi-node cluster. Okay, so the single node is nothing but we are not interacting with any other node. So in our case, node machine requirement will be on the managed node. You need to a way to communicate, which is normally SSH. By default, this uses SFTP. If that is not available, you can switch to SSH in ansible.ch. Okay, so that means if you want to set up a node of Ansible, in that case you need to have a way through which we can interact with that node. Okay, if you don't have it, then it will be a problem. You also need Python 2.4 or later. If you are running less than Python 2.5 on the remotes, you will also need Python simple.json. Okay, so if you are running Python less than 2.5 version, then you need to have this Python simple JSON modules as well. Okay, now so till now we just covered all the basics that we need to have. Okay, so from the next video we are going to talk about all the labs that we need to perform, like how to install Ansible and all. Okay, so that's it. We'll continue in the next video how to all the setup and all. Okay.